Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be looking at the King Singer's The Rose, which was a song made popular by Bette Midler in the 1970s. I'm starting with this because I do want to go down the pentatonics route at some particular point. I was in a lot of choirs in my life growing up, and so I want to practice a little bit using them as a backdrop. And so I just want to give you a little sense of what I listen for when I listen to an a cappella group. And I created notes because the thing is in an a cappella group, there's just so much stuff going on um, that you have to pay attention to. Well, you don't have to, but it's just it all stuff that makes it part of the performance. And so when I listen to it, I mean, I keep in mind that they have to be the band, the rhythm section, the vocals, the backup vocals. There's nothing extra, right? That it's not like there's a choir that's going to help you out. There isn't a brass section that's going to come out of nowhere. You are the brass section. You are the rhythm section. You are everything. And so with that, that means that the members of the group have to create and maintain everything that goes on in the actual song. So they have to create the melody, the counter melodies, they have to create the harmonies and everything that goes along with it to help build everything. They have to maintain the tempo. They have to also develop and maintain the momentum and the intensity of the song because they don't have a trombone that can come in and do stuff. They don't have trumpets that can help bring up the happiness of a song. They have to do it themselves. They don't have heavy duty bassoons and stuff like this to bring in the bass or anything like this. There are no pianos. They have to be the piano. And so they have to build that intensity. And so the things that I look for is how do they do that? And some of the ways they do that obviously is through volume control and through chord structure, meaning that if there's like dissonance in a chord, that actually builds tension, which actually builds momentum and intensity, and volume creates that intensity also. So I'm listening for a whole bunch of stuff. And so I just wanted to get that out there because when I'm listening to this, you might see me completely like zone out because I'm trying to focus on so much stuff. And you might see me actually get really emotional at times because this sort of stuff requires a lot of symbiosis and a lot of teamwork. Without teamwork, this whole thing fails. And one of the things that you can listen for, and anybody can listen for inside this, is how well they work as a unit, that no one actually outshines anybody else, and that a person's voice only stands out when it needs to. If that's the only thing you want to take away from listening to an a cappella group is that no one should ever stand out when they shouldn't, that's awesome. Because really, a cappella groups, their whole goal is to meld together, and that everything that they do is designed to work as a team to bring that message to everybody else. And again, like when you listen to me, it's all about vocal rhetoricianship, right? Like you're a vocal rhetorician, and so your job is to take all your tool belt, all the stuff in your vocal tool belt, and use it in order to connect the message of the song to me through your voice and through all of your voices. And so I'm going to just leave it at that. And hopefully I remember to put the little timestamp so people can skip over this whole part. But I'm using the King Singers as sort of a template to help me understand how well or how intense I want to get in my reactions to this. To pentatonics and the other types of a cappella groups that I'll come across. And so, without any further ado, let's just get started.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed.
So even in that particular section there, you'll notice how they used volume to sort of move things forward and then bring it back as they move from word to word to word or line to line to line. They also do a really good job of setting each phrase. They always bring it back to unison before breaking out into harmony, which is a good use of unison. Unison is one of the things that a cappella groups can use to also bring some intensity and some focus to what they're singing.
Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed.
So right there, one of the things that you can listen for also is where the bass comes in, where the tenor, actually they have a countertenor in there also, how all of those parts actually work together to sort of bring the intensity and the momentum within the song. So when they hit that low note, you notice that that was sort of where they were setting the end of a particular phrase. And you'll notice this in pentatonics too. When somebody drops really, really low and when they set the chord really low, the line is usually coming to an end.
It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong.
That was a very nice phrase there. It seemed to go on forever, which was sort of nice. One of the things that you notice a little bit differently about king singers over pentatonics, if you're comfortable or if you know their repertoire, one of the things you'll notice here is that this is a very choir based, like church based thing where all the harmonies are very straightforward. There's not a lot of dissonance in here. There's not a lot of clashing in the notes. It's very clean in how the chord structure is designed. Um, and that's part of what makes it what it is. I mean, this is a church, and so it's going to sound very, what I would probably call sort of a Gregorian sound in a lot of ways. It's a very, I can't find the word right now, but basically it's a very old school church hymn sort of way, a hymnal sort of approach.
Just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes
Okay, so that is the King Singers, and so I'm doing this just to give myself a test to see what it is that I pull out of these performances, in terms of sound and stuff like this. I'm sure that when I look at pentatonics, there's going to be a little bit more intensity because they bring in a beatboxer, and they also have a lot more dissonance, and they do a lot more with key changes, modulations, and other sort of things that move the song along. This here, like I said just recently, is that it's all a very hymnal type of orchestration. So it's designed to sound like you're getting married, I guess. You're in a church and you're getting married, and they're in the loft and they're singing at you as you're doing the processional or the recession. And so this is one way of looking at that, but I wanted to look at this just to see what I pulled out and what I would talk about in something like this. And so I'm more interested now in what you guys thought of this particular performance, because it is a lot different from pentatonics, but it's the same genre. It's a cappella music. It's just that it's a very different approach to popular music. I was going to start off with their version of Kesha's Praying, but I don't know that song well enough to be able to draw any comparisons, or sort of listen for what I would expect from it. But they do have other songs, so you can also look up what they also do if this arrangement and this type of singing is something that interests you. So with that, I'm going to let you go, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. And let me know in the comments what you like, dislike. Again, this is my very first time talking about a cappella music, so even if you hate it, I'm perfectly okay with that. My life will not end if you tell me to stop. But it's it's going to sound different with pentatonics. Again, this was sort of my test to see how this goes. So again, I'm going to let you go. You guys enjoy your day, and as always, be safe.